my dear companions, and you, souls who seek peace amidst the storm. I, Socrates, who throughout my life questioned apparent truths and invited men to self-knowledge, come today to debate with you about two of the greatest tyrants of the human soul, anxiety and fear. I observe in your lives the constant agitation, the worry about the uncertain future, the dread of what might befall you. But I tell you, these chains are not imposed by the external world. They are forged within your own selves, in your ignorance of yourselves, and in your lack of discernment. Philosophy, the true pursuit of wisdom, is the only weapon capable of freeing you from these bonds. It is time for us to question together the nature of these emotions, and in doing so, to find the serenity that resides in virtue and reason. I ask you then, what is anxiety, if not the projection of your minds into the future? A future that does not yet exist, and that, for the most part, will not materialize as you fear. And what is fear, if not the reaction of a soul that clings too much to what is transient, and therefore trembles at the possibility of loss or pain? True wisdom lies in discerning what is within your control and what is not. Your actions, your choices, your thoughts, these are within your power. External events, what others will do or say, the future, these are beyond your reach. Remember the maxim I engraved on my soul: know thyself. Many concern themselves with knowing the universe, the stars, the laws of nature, but they neglect the most fundamental knowledge, that of their own soul. It is in the soul that the capacity to think, to judge, to choose resides. If the soul is confused, full of false beliefs about good and evil, it will inevitably generate anxiety and fear. The purification of the soul through questioning and reason is the first step toward liberation. The fear of death, for example, is one of the most widespread. But I ask you, do you fear something you do not know? No one knows what death is, whether it is a deep, dreamless sleep or a transition to another form of existence. If you fear it, you are acting out of ignorance, assuming it is the greatest of evils. A wise person does not fear what they do not know. They concern themselves rather with living well, with acting virtuously, for that alone is within their power, regardless of what comes after the end of earthly life. Virtue, my friends, is the only good that cannot be taken from you, the only possession that remains with you until your last breath. Wealth can disappear, beauty can fade, fame can vanish. But courage, justice, temperance, wisdom, these virtues dwell within the soul and are unshaken by the vicissitudes of fortune. The person who builds their life on virtue does not fear the loss of external goods, for their happiness resides in their unassailable character. Anxiety, in turn, often arises from excessive attachment to material things, to the opinions of others, to specific outcomes. When your well-being depends on something external and mutable, the mind churns in a futile attempt to control the uncontrollable. Freedom from anxiety resides in detachment, in the understanding that true happiness cannot be bought, nor imposed, nor found outside yourselves. It is a state of the virtuous soul. The practice of self-examination, which I so strongly advocated, is a powerful antidote against anxiety and fear. Each day, question your actions, your motivations, your beliefs. Is what you fear true? Is there a logical reason for this concern? Or is it merely a fantasy of the mind, fueled by ignorance? Socratic questioning, applied to yourselves, dispels the shadows of illusion and brings clarity to the soul. Remember that true harm does not lie in what happens to you, but in how you react to what happens to you. Physical pain may be inevitable, but mental suffering is often a choice. The loss of a possession may be a fact, but lamentation and despair are reactions that can be controlled by reason. It is not the event that troubles a person, but their judgment about the event. The virtue of courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act rightly despite fear. It is a habit that is cultivated. Face your fears with reason, Analyze them, question them, and you will see that many of them are like ghosts created by your own imagination without real substance. Knowledge of the truth will free you even from the deepest fears. True happiness lies not in having much, but in desiring little and being content with what one has. The person who is always desiring more, who yearns for what they do not possess, will live in a perpetual state of scarcity and anxiety. Contentment with enough, the simplicity of life, frees the soul from the tyranny of insatiable desires. The opinions of others which trouble you so much are one of the greatest causes of anxiety. You seek external approval, you fear judgment, and because of this, you deviate from the path of rectitude. But what truly matters is not what others think of you, but what you know about your own virtue. Let your conscience be your only and ultimate judge. The self-sufficiency of the virtuous soul is the greatest of freedoms. When your happiness and peace depend only on your own choices and your character, you are unshaken by the storms of the world. You will not be slaves to the whims of fortune, nor to the opinions of men. This is the fortress that the wise person builds within themselves. My pupils and friends of wisdom, if these inquiries resonate in your souls, and if you feel the spark of truth ignite within you, I ask you, with the passion of one who seeks the good, to like this video right now. By doing so, you help bring this light of questioning to more hearts seeking to free themselves from anxiety and fear. And so that you may continue to receive valuable teachings that will guide you on the path of self-knowledge and peace. Follow this channel and leave your comment about which truth touched you most. Your participation is vital for philosophy to continue illuminating the way. Now, let's continue with our theme. Understand that philosophy is not just a set of abstract ideas, but a daily practice, a way of life. It is not enough to hear the words, you must live them. With every challenge, every moment of anxiety, every fear that arises, apply the question, is this good or bad for my soul? Is it within my control? Am I acting virtuously? The sincere answer will lead you to serenity. Dialogue, not only with others but especially with oneself, is the most powerful tool against ignorance. Do not passively accept beliefs that cause you suffering. Interrogate them, dissect them, until the truth reveals itself. The mind that does not question itself is a sleeping mind, trapped by its own illusions and the fears they generate. Awaken and face your own darkness with the light of reason. Time, this incessantly flowing river, carries all things with it, including your worries and fears. Ponder the transience of everything. What troubles you today, tomorrow will be just a distant memory, or not even that. Why give so much power to something so ephemeral? Focus on the present, on what you can do now to act with rectitude, and the future will take care of itself. Wisdom is the ultimate antidote to fear. The person who understands the nature of things, who distinguishes the essential from the superfluous, the permanent from the transient, is not shaken by the storms of life. They know that true life resides in the soul and that it is invulnerable to bodily pains or material losses. Knowledge liberates. Vanity and the desire to please everyone are inexhaustible sources of anxiety. You want to be loved, admired, accepted, and for this you mold yourselves to the whims of others. But this is a life of slavery. Be true to yourselves, act according to your principles and your conscience, and external approval or disapproval will lose its power over you. True courage resides in honesty with oneself, in the ability to admit one's own ignorance and to seek knowledge with humility. The fear of being seen as ignorant, of being wrong, prevents many from questioning their own beliefs. But one can only learn what one recognizes not to know. Free yourselves from this fear and embrace the incessant pursuit of truth. May your lives be a constant inner dialogue, a tireless investigation into what is good, what is virtue, what is the good life. Accept nothing as truth without first submitting it to the test of reason. Only then can you unravel the illusions that generate anxiety and fear and live a truly free and serene life. Peace of mind is not found in riches, in honors, or in pleasures, but in the soul that is in harmony with itself, that acts in conformity with reason and virtue. This peace is unshakable, a safe refuge against all external storms. It is the prize of the examined life, of the philosophical life. Therefore, my friends, do not allow yourselves to be imprisoned by anxiety and fear. Look within, question your beliefs, seek virtue and self-knowledge. Remember, an unexamined life is not worth living. May this maxim guide you to the freedom and serenity that only wisdom can offer.